All right, hello, welcome back. If you are a returning viewer, welcome. If you are a new viewer, if you're new here, we are chasing 1500 in rapid rating Elo. I'm currently 1340. If you watched yesterday's video, you will see that we went 1 and 3. So obviously not ideal stats. And we were actually sitting around 1324. Usually I don't enjoy or I don't want to play without maybe the camera on, but I figured that, well, I don't know, I couldn't help myself. So I played a couple games. I played 4 games actually. I won 3 and lost 1. So I'm going to go over 2 of those games in an effort to kind of shorten these videos, and we'll only play 2 games together live. So if this format's better for you guys, let me know. Um, but yeah, as always, we'll start out with the daily puzzle. The timestamps, check the description below. For some reason, like the video, when I try to add them in, I don't know, they don't get put into the actual video, like when you're scrolling. Um, so I don't know, maybe that will happen at some point. But regardless, let's start with the daily puzzle, and then we'll get into the 2 games to review, and we'll play 2 games live. Okay, so today's puzzle, November 10th, 2024, is called Pepe's Checkmate Puzzler. So we're going to be looking for some sort of checkmates, obviously. Also, fair warning, if you hear something in the background snoring, that something is my dog, and he's great, but he snores when he sleeps. Okay, so first things to look for in a puzzle is checks and captures. This is a check. This is a check. It's a check, albeit probably not a good one. This is also a check. Of those 3, I don't think we need to go too much into that one because, after this and this, I don't really see any continuation from their perspective. So the good news is we have 2 rooks that are very controlling. I like this because it activates this rook a bit more. And it gives him only 1 move. It's more forcing than this one where he could go now here or here. Doesn't mean it's always right, but forcing tends to be better since we know the exact move that he'll play next is here. Um, so keeping that in mind, we go here. He has to move here because now this is a discovered attack. Sorry, not here. Here. And now we have our knight, which will be guarding these 2 squares. So something like here, putting the king in check again, gives him 2 squares to go to. And after we bring, maybe we bring this rook into e2. So we have knight goes here, check. King goes here. Rook goes to d3, check. The king can either go here or here. I think if the king goes here, the best idea would be to play this move. Putting him in check again. Now the king only has 1 square here. And then I think now we need, and then we have this move, which is checkmate. Actually, he could also go here, because sorry, we did put him in check on this square, didn't we? So we go here, check. King goes here. Rook to d3, check. Let's say, for instance, king goes here. We play rook to e2, check. The king goes here, then we have checkmate. If the king goes to c1, what would be the best? Oh, we can still play checkmate because this is covered by this bishop. We don't have any rook ideas either. So, okay, so that's good. But now what if the king, let's see, what if the king instead of going here goes here when we check him? If the king were to do that, then I think we still have this move, right? So let's just go over it again. So we go here, check, king goes here, we move the rook here, check, king goes here. I think we may have to do some weird sort of in between, like a check here to keep it forced, right? and then he goes back up here, and then we have the same idea. That may not be the most direct, but it's the one I see, so it's what I'm going with. So yeah, knight to f2, and then rook to d3, correct? And then we said if he goes here, we go here, here. So we go rook to e1. No? Okay. So let's try that one again. There's also rook to c2. Is it wanting us just to play here? The issue is if we were to play here directly, now the king gets away. I liked our move. I think our move, we'll have to go back and look at it. I think our move, forcing the king up, going back to check, and then him having to go back. Oh, no, but it's not correct because for the same reason that now we go here, the king escapes. So let's just cut off his escape square. And now he activates this bishop. Interesting. So now this is a problem, right? We can't, I mean, it's not a big problem, but we can't, we have to be aware of it. So what other checks do we have? We have rook here, rook here. Rook here, I think we're running into a very similar problem. Maybe not similar, but like, what are we doing after he plays here? Then maybe we have to play check. And maybe the idea is now he doesn't, but now he can escape. But the issue too is he could just play this move. I mean, what's stopping that, right? We would play this move. He can't go here, he can't go here. He would have one move left, it's here. Or he could block, but if he blocks, then we take, and I think we're in a very good position. Oh, but we can't go there either because the knight's looking at us. Quite tricky. Is it a good idea to... I don't think so. I think maybe we keep going check. We go here? No? Okay. I don't think this is a good move because after knight takes, we're kind of stuck. This seems just to be giving away the rook. But maybe that's okay. Maybe we give away the rook with the idea that now we come in with the knight. Knight check. Remember, this whole rank is still protected. The king will go here, and then after, that's checkmate. Interesting pattern. Interesting pattern, Pepe. So yeah, I think we did good. We messed it up twice. Starting with rook. Oh, let's go into analyze. Starting with this, correct. He has one move here. Okay, good. Now he has two. We showed that this would be a mistake. Well, not. I mean, he's getting mated either way, but this would be a faster mate because after this move, he only has one of these two moves, and this is checkmate, guarded by the knight. But the move that we calculated was goes here. I was thinking here, and if he goes here, we go here again. And then after any one of these two moves, it's checkmate with the same idea. But the issue that we misunderstood is that he has this square now. So now if we go here, he can escape. Very subtle, but very important. So yeah, so the best move for him was to go here. And now we have to play rook to e2, preparing. If he doesn't play this move, if he just, I don't know, if he does something like, it's like, I don't know what a good move. He doesn't have a really good move here. Maybe this move, right? Just be like, okay, it's too slow because we still have the d1 checkmate. But now that he played this, we have to be aware of the square. And I was thinking maybe we go here, and if he blocks, then we take. But It's actually a miss because it allows him to go b2, and then after a move like if we go back, let's say we go back to we do this check, right? Now he can block, um, and we can't take it, and he's actually winning in this position. Um, so yeah, so the best move is to sacrifice the rook with the idea that now the knight comes in. All of this is blocked by this rook. He's under check. And this square, of course, is protected. So his next move here allows this, blocking any of his escape squares protected by the knight, and this square is also protected by the knight. Really cool checkmate. Okay, now let's get into game number one that we're going to analyze. So, okay, um, this game is pretty interesting. I didn't play it super well, I don't think. Actually, I'm sorry. This is game number two. Let's start with game number one. Um, let's do the same games. Let's go to stats. And we want this game because we played as white, and then we'll look at the next game after. So we had one blunder apparently, but I'll go over all this. So we go to analyze. Let's start at the very top. So again, as normal, we start with our ret t opening, and then after d5, we can go ahead and prepare. Again, I like to play this move kind of preemptively, just because I'm worried about this bishop sometimes coming down. Say if we were to play this move instead, I don't like this because now this move is too slow, and our pawn structure is a little weird. Not ideal for what we like to play. I mean, even if we try to, like, if he takes his queen out and, I don't know, we try to prepare. I mean, of course, we could go here, but the idea of this bishop is to play g2. Now he even has this check, which is really annoying because either we trade queens and we give up castling rights, or I guess actually we still have bishop to e3. We're doing okay. But still, it becomes annoying, and that pawn structure with this pawn here isn't really what we want. But it's playable. It's just I don't like playing it. So I prefer to go ahead and play this move, preparing in case he decides to bring the bishop in. He doesn't. He plays this move, which gives us a pawn for free, so we'll take it. And then he doesn't threaten our knight right away, so we're able to establish kind of some control in the center, providing him a protection. If this knight comes out, we're not even worried with the idea that he can take us, and we'll take back, putting a threat on his knight, winning a tempo. He jumps his knight forward. I don't think that's any sort of big mistake. Um, Obviously, this is a mistake. This is a blunder on his part, probably, because now he's just given us his knight for free. So we take it. That's fine. Again, now we have this pawn protecting the knight. This isn't even a threat. We're not worried about it. It's an equal trade of material. But we bring it back anyway. I guess the idea I was thinking was just let's keep the pieces on the board. Let's try and play correct. There's no need to trade off the pieces. I think this move was fine. It was maybe a bit inaccurate, but it was fine. Um, Rook to f1, just to kind of go ahead and get it on this open file that's going to open up at some point. And so he does another weird thing and takes with his bishop. At this point, I think I texted him in the chat and I'm like, "You good?" Because this is a really odd move to sacrifice the bishop already. This attack is called the Omega Delta Gambit. I've never heard of that before, but the King's Indian attack, Omega Delta Gambit. Keep that in mind. It's probably not a very good opening. So now we're just developing our pieces. We kind of have a weird structure down here, but after a king moves to g2, we have this file open, but we have a good protector. We'll think about maybe putting our knight back at some point now that it can't be taken. Exactly. Now he gives us even more of an incentive with the threat to his queen. Um, he's threatening this, so I stop that by playing pawn because if he takes this, right, we can defend, but it's just a bit of an annoyance. It's not too big of a deal, but we'll be losing a pawn, and why lose a pawn when you don't have to? Except I guess the fact that this ran into a fork. Um, but I think we actually played that wrong because it wants the computer. When I say I'm saying the computer. It wants king to g1. If they were to, let's say, I don't know, let's say they take towards the center, right? Now I play rook to f8, check, king takes, and I think the idea is that the king is very exposed, and at the end of the line, after like I don't know, we play c4, we get to threaten the queen. If they take, we can play knight to a3. I wonder why we played that instead of knight to c3. Seems a bit more interesting. The queen's under threat, so we have to move the queen. It would best be moved to either a5 or a6. Let's say he finds that. Although I think realistically, like this move, maybe a bit more real. Um, but now we have takes on b7 by the bishop, and now we're winning his rook back. So I guess that's the idea, is that now for the knight, we're winning his rook eventually. But say if he were to have defended that, right, if we were to have played, I don't know, this move with a6, we have knight to d5, which is interesting. If he takes, we take, plays knight to d7 would be best. But again, I don't think that's very well. I don't know. Maybe they would play this honestly, or maybe they would play a move like here. But now we have mate in 2 with queen to f1, and then we just have this, which is checkmate. So interesting stuff. So I guess the idea is that because we have this open file, even this fork isn't too dangerous. However, we played a mistake by moving the knight back. Apparently, it's just giving back a bishop, but in this case, we're still up a whole piece, so we're not too worried. Um, we're moving our knight out of the pin, or our king out of the pin, sorry. Um, and he pushes forward. That's fine. We'll go right back. This is a great square for our knight. Look, we're hitting 8 different squares. So very strong knight here in the center. He decides to trade. That's okay. We'll trade back. He takes a knight in. I think it actually wanted us to play queen to f4 here. And if he takes, then we just take with the queen. Um, with ideas of like, I don't know, say he plays, well, he wouldn't play that move because it's defended. But let's say he plays, I don't know, let's say he plays this move, right? It seems, maybe not, maybe this move. Now we have knight to c3, attacking the queen. I guess eventually we're just going to be winning material back after, because now we have 2 defenders. He's going to have to move this somewhere. He could keep it on there, but even then we can still take when the pawn kind of infiltrate, maybe even take with this first. Now he has to take, and we can take back, and we'll be winning. We'll be winning a piece at the very least. So yeah, that's all interesting. Okay. Uh, I'm up. Okay. So yeah, we're looking back to what we played. So after we played knight to c3, again, the idea is attacking his piece. Now he's left this knight undefended. We can take. The computer says it's actually getting kind of equal after he takes. Um, Even though we're up a piece, it says we're only up like 1.7. I guess with ideas of here, the check, um, is kind of the idea. But anyway, he goes ahead and he plays that first. He sees that we can have um, a fork, and win the pawn first. So that's fine. So we have to find a move. So we played the best move actually is to respond. We don't mind trading here. If he were to trade, we're up. Even after this, I mean, we're up a whole piece, and we got this move coming in soon. It's we're fine, right? That trade for us is fine. So we block. Um, he takes. We get out of trouble because I'm worried about that takes with check. Actually, rook to f1 would have been the smarter move. I was thinking ahead and thinking of, okay, he's probably going to take, so maybe we take here, and then we'll go here with ideas of we can win our bishop back, or we can win the knight back. Um, and so that is what happens actually. So he takes our knight, we take with check, and now we have here, and now we have a threat on his rook. After this, I realize that even though his rook is defending, it's not really defending because this is a checkmate. So we can take anyway. Of course, he sees that, he blocks. So we just can keep putting on the pressure. Now he has to move again. And now after this move, it's really hard for him. It's not actually checkmate, but it's hard for him to defend this because he can give us a check here, right? Now he's made a little escape square. It's actually mate in 8 after here. Takes, takes. We had king h7. We have mate in 5 after queen to g8 check. What did we play in the game? We played e4 check. Queen to g8 check. Stronger. Now we have queen to f7. Um, if they go back, then we can play bishop to e4 check with this, and that's checkmate. Why could we not play it move before? Well, because our queen wasn't guarding this square, right? If we play that now, which is what I did in the game, um, is that what I did in the game? No, I played e4, but it allows him to block. So if we play here, that's actually the mating pattern with the idea of this. Now we have here, if he pushes forward king to g5, we have bishop to e4, which isn't a check, but he can't really do anything. Like his most desperate move would be here, but after we take, and that's the only way, right? This is the only way. He can't stop it by going here, because if you see what the idea is, it is now we can play our queen here, right? Um, so like if you were to play here, we could also even kind of get fancy, right? With the because this isn't technically mate just yet. Um, it's actually here is the checkmate, blocked off by the pawn, protected by the bishop, and blocked all around, and then check. Um, he plays back. Yeah, we went over that. Goes forward. I mean, his best move would be here, but this move is coming in, so he can't stop it. But we missed that. Instead, we gave him a check with this. He blocks, and we just kept giving him checks. There were slight inaccuracies uh, and mistakes, but look at his king. I mean, it's gone from the top right, just completely out of safety. We've just checked it around, moving it around, and just continued the checks all the way down to here. And this move was a mistake. Does anyone see why you shouldn't have taken that? I missed it in the game, but if you can see why, let me know. The idea is that now we have this move. Obviously, he has one move here, and we can take on a2 now, winning his queen. It's going to be checkmate in like 2 or 3 moves. But we missed it. We played here instead. It's okay. White's still completely winning. Now we offered him the queen trade. And we go into a sort of endgame where we're protecting this. He can never really move this because I'm just going to take, and we have a passed pawn with nothing in front of it. We just need to make sure that the king doesn't get in front of it. So these moves are all good. After here, he just resigns. So that was the first game that we played yesterday. And that moved us up to 32. And so let's take a look real quick at the second game. The second game is a little bit shorter. We played with 90% accuracy in the second move, with 29 moves in total. So we can go into the analysis view. So we see that we have book moves. That's fine. Excellent, excellent, good. All this opening is nothing that you haven't seen, especially from my channel, since I played the same openings. Um, this is a mistake because it allowed us to get this knight in, right? Every time you push upon your weakening squares, in this case, you weaken this square, um, which allowed us to get the knight in. I don't actually love having the knight on d7 because the whole idea of the Catalan of the King's Indian, right, is to have this, and I don't know, say he like, does a whatever, like a whatever move. The position is a bit different. Now you usually have this move so that when they push, you can bring your knights kind of back, and you're protecting this f5 pawn push pawn break eventually. But that's not the game that we had, and that weakness allowed me to then put my knight on to c5. Again, a good central knight. This, if he kicks it, that's. I mean, I think honestly, I probably would have taken. I'm okay with doubling their pawns. Not really helping in development. The pawn structure is weird. They have like kind of a pawn island, double pawns, two pawns over here. We've gotten rid of their bishop, which arguably is usually a bit stronger than a knight. Um, so that's okay. For the same reasons, we didn't want to trade this off. Also, in the King's Indian, this is usually kind of an idea to have this bishop sacrifice at some point where you're sacrificing on h3 to open up lines for the king. So I wanted to keep that on just in case it came up, and that was kind of an interesting move. Okay, and this is an interesting move, and it's a blunder for the exact same reason that moving his pawn here was a mistake. Um, and it's the same idea, right? What squares are they weakening when they move this? Well, they've weakened four squares. They've weakened these two on, they've weakened the squares on b3 and b4, as well as the squares on d3 and d4. But that's important because now there's nothing except one protector on here. And after this move, um, it's very, they can't, they no longer have the pawn protecting it, right? So that's the issue. Um, and so now here we're up a piece, we're fine. And this is, I don't really know why he moved here. I guess he was worried about like that. Honestly, I get it. I would be worried too because this was probably my next ideas in thinking this. But he gave us another piece. So now we're up two pieces. We're up both bishops. And he has none of our pieces, not even a pawn. Um, so now, we're kind of in a position that King's side safety, we're winning. We're winning by a lot. We don't actually mind giving this for having this active knight really blocking any ideas of the queen coming into, right? Because, um, yeah, I appreciated having this knight hitting this square. Our queen's coming in very soon. It's a very black is up like 5.93 at the moment. This is a good move. Uh, and after this move is just okay because yeah, they find the best move. And this is slightly inaccurate because I forgot that the knights can take backwards, of course, which allowed him to take backwards. I was thinking it would be some sort of trade, ideally, but kind of forgot that it's a inaccuracy, or it would be a mistake in other circumstances, but in this one it isn't. Okay, now this move, this is kind of poisoned because if he takes this, well, now he has a fork that he has to deal with. Of course, it's not a very protected fork. You could take it, but in taking this, this created a higher level threat that he could not ignore. Even if the queen wasn't here, this would have been a double threat either, because we have this bishop on g7 that's eyeing the a1 square. So after takes, it's best to take because we always have this skewer that we can come back to. Um, which it's some people like you would think queen rook, but after here it's a little bit inaccurate because now again you're still doing fine, but you've traded a piece instead of you. The best case scenario for them now is like, I don't know, you get a rook, right? This is actually missed because like Oh well, yeah, because the queen's right there. But I was just doing it for the sake of the purpose. But anyway, so yeah, after this, he doesn't see that we have this pin or skewer coming in, and so we find it. Find it, and now we win a queen. So now we're up a queen and we're up a rook, so we are doing just fine. Um, Taking with check instead of danger levels kind of, and now we win his rook. He wins ours. We give him a few more checks, but after we take his knight with this fork, he resigns. So those were the games that I played, and now we're sitting at 1340. So we can go ahead and jump into some of the games for today. All right, so let's get into some of the games. Again, sorry if you're hearing the dog snoring. I don't know if you can see him. I don't know if you can see it, but that's him snoring in the background. Um, so yeah, he enjoys it here. I don't really want to make him move. But so yeah, we will get into playing some weird stuff. Standard 10 minutes. All right, here we go. All right, we're playing as white. That's good. I think our win percentage is usually a bit higher as white. Just when I look at my statistics, but I kind of feel like that's been changing. I've been working a lot on the black opening. It's just the King's Indian is you kind of have some sharper lines. So always good to be aware. Again, the idea of the Catalan is if he takes, we just have this move here, and he can't take because of this, and his knight is pinned to his king, so we're not worried about knight takes first. This is kind of an odd move. He's going to try and attack us. We can honestly play this move, but like also too in this variation, I'm really not worried about here. We need to be mindful of it, but it's I don't think it's very worrisome to me. Um, I think go ahead and moving the knight here is fine. I think this is fine. Um, we'll go here and see what happens. Now, again, with that same idea about weakening squares, he's weakened this square, right? He's not able to challenge this bishop. Uh, so, you know, we're okay trading it, but again, since he's not able to challenge it, we'll just wait and see what he does. Um, I like moves here. We're kind of protecting this. We're going to take because now we no longer have the kind of tactic of the pin. But now with this move, we're threatening his knight. It's not a bad move for him though, so that's a little bit annoying, but it's fine. Um, he decides not to go through with it, with the idea that he will now be able to kind of win a pawn. But this protects the pawn. I almost wondering if I just want to go here and then play a move like here. It's fine too, right? Because again, we're threatening his queen or his rook. If he were to ignore that threat, he can't. He has to take back. So I kind of like that move first. And here is interesting because yes, he's going to win a pawn, but we might be able to win two pawns, right? So let's do that. Let's go ahead and open the center. I don't even really care to lose this pawn because it's kind of doubled anyway. So we'll just go ahead and blow that open. And if okay, yeah. So I think we can play here. But after he can bring his rook to the attack and get some counterplay, having his rook on our second file. So I don't love that. And I don't think it would be losing the game by any means, but it's definitely maybe not like completely winning. So I try to avoid those scenarios if possible. Okay, he's moved his knight in. I think he's wanting to try some ideas here. It all feels really like I don't know. I think it's kind of a waste of his time. We can simply kick the knight. We don't even have to. He doesn't have anything right away. So there's no rush if we had something better to play. Um, I kind of want to. I think like it might be nice to either get our queen off the starting square, But it also could be nice to look into ideas of like maybe queen goes here, or maybe even here with the idea that now we can take, since he has no counterplay and he cannot get on to that second rank, because we're protected now. Could also just jump our knight into the middle, although it's blocking this diagonal, which for me, there's no reason to do that right now. Unless we want to go here, kind of force a trade here. This wouldn't necessarily force a trade, but my guess is he's likely to take it, since it's kind of threatening this. Uh, Not a huge threat, just like he may not even want to deal with it. Um, so I think we have two moves, right? Either we play here or we play here. Um, I don't think either one's wrong. I think let's develop first, and then this move is still waiting for us. Next move. He may try and push. If he pushes, like I'm just ignoring this attack. There's nothing scary about it for me at the moment. If he pushes, I'm gonna let him take. I'll take this way. Okay, he doesn't. Here we need to be a little bit careful. Um, since our queen's kind of out. That's the downside to bringing this queen out is now we've kind of subjected her to a little bit of danger. Um, Kind of like here, we can double up. Also feel like now this may be even more incentive for him to take. But now we put a pin on our queen for no reason. Um, so let's move. We could also go here, but again, after takes, I think we're gonna run into issues after takes here. Slight issues, right? Nothing too major, but annoyances nonetheless. Like here, we're still protecting this. Eventually, we can kick this knight, and he has like no square to go but back. Um, so we'll just kind of do that and see where he goes. All right, he's decided to block. That's okay. We're gonna contest this D file. Um, D and C's in the Catalan are typically where the bishops or the rooks like to go for white. So we'll see how he responds to this. All right, he kind of ignores it. Uh, Now, obviously, we have this. This move's fine. I don't like that it blocks off the diagonal so much, but again, he only has one square for his knight. Actually, now he has two because he's added a defender. I think do we want to take with check first? I don't think so. It gives him control of the diagonal. We have a nice diagonal coming in here at some point. This is obviously a threat. We need to think about what we're going to do for this. We can't just let him have it. But I'm kind of thinking maybe we block like this, and then we'll think about like moving here. I think that's okay. I really don't mind that at all. I think that's what we're gonna do. This is protected. He can't ever really get in. Um, yeah, I think we're doing fine. Now he only has like two pieces attacking our king side, and his queen. But if he moves here, which I don't think he would, but if he does, trading off any of these pieces really is kind of going to be okay for us. We're not. I mean, I think right now the position is honestly pretty equal. Um, he has a lot more time than us, which is definitely a benefit for him. Um, I see this lovely juicy file that just kind of opened up. I don't really know if I can take advantage of it right away, or maybe I don't even know if I'll ever be able to take advantage of it. Um, I will say the annoyance is that he's blocked our thing, and now we have to find a good place for the queen. Taking could be fine. I was thinking we need to move our queen just kind of out of here. I don't really like this so much. I don't want to give him something like that. I mean, we'd have to takes, but like that's kind of annoying. Let's not do that. Let's just go. Is here a good move? We're really kind of putting our queen out of all the action with this. So that's one thing that I'm not a huge fan of, but I think it's okay. I like having just this extra protection here. There's none of this funny business to try and find some to like discovered attacks. I think I don't know. I kind of am wondering if we should kick the knight, but I'm also like I don't really know if it's necessary. Okay, he went there, so I'm kind of thinking we go here first. And he has to move the queen somewhere. Obviously, I see he's threatening to take my bishop with his knight, kind of ruining our structure. But I like this, right? We're putting a threat on him. If he decides he wants to take, then we'll take. Either we honestly could take with the queen too, get her right back into action. But none of these scores are good for the queen. Something like that could work, but then I'll probably move back and just protect. Interesting. Well, I guess that does have a check with it. Okay, a little bit less than ideal. I'm trying to think though, like we can just get out of that weird pawn structure, like you know, even do something a little bit in between, like takes. I don't really know what the purpose of that, like why it takes with that versus you know others, but I guess we can go here, and this is protected. Obviously, we need to not give him free rook. I kind of like. I think here is okay. I don't see a reason why we can't play rook to e1. He's up a pawn. We're gonna be winning one back soon, shortly. He may decide to kind of like move like that. I'm trying to think. Is this something we need to worry about? I don't know. Maybe. Um, but like, I don't really know what the alternative is. Like, we could play here and just kind of give him some checks, right? Wants to trade, that's fine, and then we'll come in. Or even like we can just take here and um, so I think now we need to give him some checks because we're gonna see these moves coming in very shortly, and that's actually a little bit worrisome because I don't know the best way to stop it because I think his next move is going to be something like here, right? Putting us in check. If we go here, he has checkmate. If we go here, he has check, and after here, it's a mate. But there's nothing we can do to put that king in check anymore. So I think we have to go here, preventing any business about going here, backs, checkmate. And if he messes up, then either we're trading queens or we're trading rooks. He's actually winning this. I do think we'll get some pawns back here, hopefully, but yeah, it's not. It's looking a little bit grim. Okay, apparently this move right here was a blunder. Should have just taken. We were already losing. Um, in this scenario, it wants us just to take this. It's a free, keeping it equal. It was actually kind of, I think, one of the only moves. No, there was a few. But after this move, we're definitely losing. Um, that was a mistake. One it takes with queen. Because now we're allowing that, I guess. But yeah, that was just a blunder. And that's what allowed the mate in. So, okay, can't win them all. But yeah, I don't know. We played that one. How did we play? It says we played 78.4% accurate, like a 1650 is what it gave us. They played a 90% accurate 2100. Wow, good for them. All right, new 10 minutes. This is game number 2 of the 4 games that we're looking at today. He plays d4. When he plays d4, we can start out with the knight to f6. He doesn't play this. Usually I think c4 is best. It's interesting he's not playing that, but he's obviously worried about me taking, so he's not playing that right away. The idea is usually you play that, you develop your knight, get here, but that's okay. The good thing about the Indian defense is also kind of a setup. So we're not rushed to, like, it doesn't have to be a perfect line, right? We can play here with ideas of takes, but we're having a hard time getting our pawn back. So let's hold off on that. Let's go here. If he decides to do something like here, we'll just take, and then we can definitely push for sure. I think we can go here. If he takes, then we can take. After takes, we can take here, and then bring our rook to e1. We could also preemptively bring our rook to e1, but I think that's a bit too slow. I think we need to start some action here. Let's see what he does. He takes. So like I said, let's go ahead and take here. If he takes, then we just take one more time. And I don't think he can ignore this anymore. And so I think it's not so great for him because I think, I guess that was his one response. See, I'll let him take me if he wants because the queen would renew this threat as well. He's loud. I have to sleep with that all the time. All right, we got some ideas of coming in here. It's kind of juvenile ideas. Like, I know he's gonna see this, and so I don't even think this move's worth playing because he's just gonna play this. But maybe we can. Let's not. Let's play d8. Just bettering our position a little bit. Go here now. Now we need to draw back. I don't see anything with blocks because he has 2 attackers. Oscar, dude, quit snoring. You're so loud. So loud. I know you're just trying to breathe. It's the issue with French bulldogs, I guess. I think we can go here. Kind of force his knight. I'll go here. I doubt he'll repeat, but if he does, I mean, I would probably accept just because I feel like this position is very equal for both players, and I don't think there's really a whole lot either one of us can do at the moment. Just get onto this square, protecting that in the future, but obviously 2 attackers we can't take right away. I don't know. I'm going to try and start pushing a little bit on this side. Seeing kind of how he responds. That's interesting, but if he's not careful, after we drop back, a move like this can be devastating. The issue he runs into now is we're also protecting quite a lot of squares. So now, very soon, and we already have our rook here, which is coming in very useful at this moment. Um, I think he's, I think he may be losing at the very minimum a knight. Um, we'll see. We'll see how he plays this. Maybe we miscalculated something. I'm not sure. Finally get some quiet from old Oscar. Shortly lived. Very shortly lived. I wonder if you guys can hear this. I haven't listened to the recordings yet, so I don't know if when I go back and listen, if you guys are going to be able to hear or not. I'm hoping that the two games that we kind of looked at today are going to make the videos a bit shorter because I know like hour-long videos are quite intense, quite long for most people. I mean, I don't watch whole hour-long videos, but hey, that's why you got the timestamps. You know, don't need to watch the whole thing. Um, yeah, I mean, I just like wow, super quick. Okay, sure. I go here. This is kind of a nice protecting, but also like threatening a back rank mate. Could have been kind of sneaky to go here and let him think that he has this. With again ideas of queen to c1. Now he has to think of some prevention to prevent this. Probably just a simple move like h3. And that works too. But you know, I'm kind of wondering. I don't think it actually is going to give us exactly what we were looking for. But, you know, we have ideas of here and then here having a pin. But after he blocks, of course, the idea is here. He only has one move if he doesn't want to lose his queen, which is king to g2. And once he plays that, we have queen to c6, which is a pin, right? But he can get out of that with this, and even taking allows his queen to come in. But actually, we have some sort of threat with like taking here. Oscar, man, what you doing? Let's go here first. Let's go here. Um, it's the best move. Is this a good move? I really like the idea of bringing this guy in. But I think it's too soon. We need to find a way to make him find this move. Of course, he could always. Well, he's not going to play that move. I don't think. Let's play this move first. With the pin. He plays that, and now we need to think of some way to. I think here can. I think here can be okay, and he just has to. He has to. Actually, I'm not even sure if he can move his queen without ideas of but he has this move. We almost have if he moves his queen, we almost have ideas of checkmate, right? But unfortunately, he has that one move that saves him. But I think if he just takes, then we're winning the queen, or we're trading, our rook and the knight for his queen. But it's a good trade for us, and we'll be getting some pawns after. So that's all good and fine. Um, but the other issue he runs into too is if we like go here, here, we're kind of going to be chasing him around. Um, Interesting move. Might have been the best one. I don't really think I can. I don't know if I really have a choice, to be honest with you. Because the issue now is anything he does is with a check. Ah, that was a smart move. I didn't even think about that. We don't have any checks. We don't have any like crazy stuff. I think this is okay. Uh, it's now an isolated pawn, but now this. Part of me is curious if we just go here, here. I don't. That's probably not accurate. We're upper piece. Let's play like it. Um, Now the question is, do I want to go here? Do I want to go here? If I go here, it gives them just this target, but I think we can go right back now. And now we're targeting his queen. I think that's a better square for us to be on anyway. Obviously, you guys have seen the past couple of games, I've completely ignored people pushing pawns until it was just completely too late, and they've like won because of it. So I need to make sure I'm not making the same mistake this time around. But I think we're too dangerous here. That even after this, yeah, even after this, um, I think it's too slow. And also we have like this move at any moment, which is protected and um, kind of hard for him to defend against. So yeah, let's just be smart about how we play this. We can go here or here. I don't think there's much of a difference other than the diagonal, but I think either way we're okay. I think maybe I was gonna say I would like to be able to get to this square after. I don't really see any way that we can do that. So let's go here because maybe eventually on the light squares we'll be able to kind of work our way over. Um, just want to triple check to make sure we're not blundering. I think after here we have here. The knight comes in with check, and we have. Part of me wonders too. Do I want to kind of just pull him in? Because I guess he would take. And then after that, I mean, I have this move, which is almost losing on the spot. Do I want to do that? Gotta be aware of the time. I think we'll go here first. His queen is in a very unuseful position. Now I think we can go. I don't see. He has that one check here. Is the issue? Let's go here. We're so close. I can feel it. I think if he were to go there, that would be a mistake. Here is the issue. I think I have to go back here, and then I'll try my hand at this just because like so low on time. Okay, he goes here, and that gives us this, which allows that, which isn't good for us either. Darn it. Let's go here. That's checkmate. Oh, okay. He didn't see it. He didn't see it. He didn't see it. I don't. I don't really know if he has an excuse because we blundered mate in one, guys. I mean, I know there was time troubles, but still, at least we won that. Let's go over the game review real quick, and then okay, very quickly, we're right at about an hour. So let's go over. Let's do the game review really quick. I'm just gonna kind of do the one that the computer gives us. Book moves up until move 6. Not bad. And as we go through, we have excellent moves all down. Again, this is a yeah. We had the move order right on this. It says this is a bit inaccurate. We should have just taken. But my thing was like after here, here. Not really sure exactly how we're winning. Maybe other than the fact that now, oh, we take with queen. They take. That would be even more of a mistake. They take back with the bishop. We're supposed to take with the bishop. They take, and now we have f to d7, knight to g4, or even e4. Oh, that gives them a slight advantage. It says one of these two would have been the best to play. Like these two moves seem a bit more logical. It's an accuracy, but it's the second best. The first best is this, which to me seems ludicrous because it seems like after here, yeah, and then ultimately you're gonna be up. Okay, but anyway, our move order was mostly right. We should have taken back first, but we didn't. We took here, and we saw the move that kind of was. It says a blunder. I feel like that's a bit extreme. No, it's not because. Yeah, it seems a bit extreme. Okay, but we had a big miswin because of this move. And now this move is no longer an option. We're winning the rook. So yes, that was a blunder and that was a miss on our part. Interesting. I'm gonna have to look at those move order, like keep that in mind because I definitely get those themes often. He found the best move to not lose anything. We played good. That's fine. This is all good. All okay. This is a blunder, and then this is a miss because he had here with check. Winning forking us. Yeah, we can't take because it's protected. Just lucky for us, he didn't see it. That probably would have won him the game because the game was very close up until the end. We saw this tactic of removing the defender, even through sacrifice, right? And we win his piece. So that was kind of the turning point for us. We had to be careful on all of this. This was a blunder. This was good. The best move for here was to go back to d7, actually. But I didn't like ideas of this because I don't know. I guess I was worried about like how we have this idea. I guess ultimately it doesn't matter. Oh, didn't go back far enough. This is a blunder because it allows the best move, but he should have played queen to e5, winning our knight back and having the pass pawn. That would have completely changed the game. He didn't see it. He just moved. And now we have checks all the way. This is mate in 3, mate in 4, and 4. This was a miss. Where was the mate? What was the idea? In 3. This was forced. Now we need to play g5, check. Okay. So this was one of the right moves. I was considering this, but obviously we didn't play it in the game. The idea is now that I definitely should have been able to see this. I don't know. And we had like a minute. We had the time, but didn't. And instead, we gave away mate in one. Um, he missed, fortunately. And after that, we realized that we have force mate in. Um, yeah, very messy end game. Very, very messy end game for us. But we stuck it out. We got a win. Probably didn't deserve that one. We, let's see, won one, lost one, won 2 games off camera. So I don't know, sitting pretty with 2 more points than we started with. All right, hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to check out some of the other videos if you want. Um, yeah, thanks. Bye bye.